Have you ever stopped to think about what the impact of children who are in team sports have in later life skills versus the children who aren't in that team sport environment? Well, besides the trophies, matching uniforms, and snacks, there's a lot more beyond and a deeper level that are affected due to team sports. Now, as we can see here, this graph is showing us some of the effects that team sports bring. So the social skills, emotional skills, cognitive skills, physical skills, and character development skills are all increasingly higher in kids who are in team sports versus kids who are not. Now, this is mainly kids who are in team sports from a developmental age. So you might be thinking, like, how does this apply to me right now? And while this doesn't apply to us necessarily all yet, we're closer to being the kids, or to being the people who have the kids on the team than we are to being the kids on the team. So it's important for us to understand what we want to be providing for the youth is so that we can be prepared to create adults who will be our workforce. Now, children who are on a team sport are encouraged and also have improved mental, emotional abilities. And the best part of it all is it's all low cost. So today, we'll show how isolation can impact and how isolation is prevented and how sports can help improve the mental ability that children have. So team sports build discipline, social connection, and confidence from an article by National Academy of Athletics in 2024. So what this is saying is basically just that kids who are in team sports naturally have a little bit more confidence whether they're on the field or they're in a court setting, whichever sport they're on, they just naturally are more confident in everyday life due to the under pressure moments that they make during the sports games. Now, the benefits of youth sports in child development also states that participating in sports during developmentally formative years has a strong positive effect. Now, this effect is kind of general, but whenever we go into and see, we can tell that it's their decision-making skills, their character growth, and all other sorts of things, as we saw on the first slide. We can also know that sports allows for patience and allows children to learn other skills because they're on a team where they have to build trust with their other peers. This is from 7 valuable skills that kids can learn through team sports. Now, isolation is also something that team sports can help. Isolation was very pivotal during COVID-19, which we have all experienced some form of isolation. And now, we need to take what we've seen and try to correct it so that the kids of the next generation are improved. So, this graph shows us that kids who are in sports naturally have higher performance because they go to school, they have higher degrees, they have higher grades, 3.0 or higher, and they're just in the top of their classes. And part of this is due to they feel that they're needed, and so then they feel like they have a place, and that stems from being needed on a sports team. So, now, what's the solution? Well, we need to engage with the youth of today and try to provide sports opportunities that will help them have accessibility to being on a team so that they can experience these leadership skills. So, some of the other benefits are students who are participating in these clubs are having higher grades, as we just saw from that graph. Now, this is from the benefits of getting your kids involved in clubs and sports from 2024. So that's another reason that team sports are important. Now, organized sports also are shown in breaking the cycle of isolation. Now, this can help kids find a place and not result to playing on their phone or an iPad, and they'll go play basketball outside. This is coming from Youth Sports Positive and Negative Impact on Young Athletes from 2013. So another article says that teamwork allows your children to build relationships, which is the trust that I was referring to earlier, and how relying on each other builds trust in class classwork later on. So now I want you to picture a kid who goes to school and then they go home right after school and they have nothing else to do for the day. They're probably just going to eat dinner and go to sleep. Kind of sad. Now picture a kid who goes to school and maybe they had a hard day, but they've had something to look forward to all day, which might be a basketball game or any sort of game that they are involved in. They just naturally have something to look forward to, so they feel a place of belonging. So now, I encourage you to get involved and to help the youth that you know get involved in team sports. That way they can find a purpose and feel belonging and just find joy in the simple things.